been more than 30 years since Lauren Jackson has gone missing.
She's the 5-year-old girl who seemingly vanished from her home in Chester County. It's an unsolved case that's kept investigators searching for decades now.
In our Unsolved in PA series, CBS 21's Jessica Babb shows us how her father is still holding on to hope.
I can't believe it's all these years.
34 years later, it's a case without closure.
You just realize what you lost. I lost a lot. This kid lost a lot.
5-year-old Lauren Jackson missing out on memories and a life she could have lived.
She was just a sweet kid.
In rural East Vincent Township, just 8 days after little Lauren's 5th birthday on October 4th, 1988.
I remember it was a very cold, drizzly night.
She was playing outside with a friend at the Park Spring Apartments, digging in the dirt outside her home.
Mother went in the house to do something, came back out again, and couldn't find her.
That was the last time she was ever seen, disappearing without a trace.
It struck me as this was different.
James Cody was a sergeant with East Vincent Police at the time and responded right away.
Everybody was frantic. The neighbors were outside. No one could locate her. So it was right in your face. She's not here.
So police started searching.
Man trackers were there with bloodhounds.
For weeks, rescue crews, multiple police agencies, the FBI, and community members helped.
The whole place here was just filled with people.
They were looking in wooded areas, even diving in nearby ponds.
Even had state police stopping vehicles along the major route.
Investigators say after searching the area, they didn't find Lauren or any of her things, but they say they believe they found a trail tracking her from this apartment complex to the major highway right down the street, Route 724.
But from there, she was nowhere to be found.
It was 3 weeks later to the day. I was on the phone with Dave Rector, the FBI agent that was in charge, and he said to me, "We're no closer to finding her than the moment it happened. It's like she vanished."
As the investigation continued, police looked into leads, even getting support from a psychic. Then, months later, a big break.
I was like on pins and needles every day, thinking we were going to get to the bottom of it.
A witness who'd been scared to speak up before says she saw Lauren and her mom, Christina O'Donnell, at a nearby strip mall just minutes from their apartment.
She said that she saw a lady matching the description of the mother, Christina, try to force a child matching the description of Lauren, little girl, into the back of a car. And the little girl was yelling, "No, mommy, no, no, mommy, no."
The witness saying she saw her give Lauren to an older couple.
You have to think, wow, okay, there it is, right? It makes all the sense in the world.
That's when the investigation shifted.
Christina she was a nice lady, but she didn't fit the pattern or description or mold of someone who had such a loss.
About a month before Lauren went missing, in September, O'Donnell was arrested. Court records show she admitted to making phony calls, posing as a doctor to get prescription meds.
We had broken up in September of '87.
Michael Jackson, Lauren's father, says he and O'Donnell had a rocky relationship and says he wanted full custody of Lauren. Even the day she disappeared, he felt like something was off.
She was standing outside the apartment, and I think I was standing a couple hundred feet away, and I'm hollering to her, like waving, like, come on over, let's talk. She ignored me.
Cody says after the witness came forward, he was ready to arrest O'Donnell, but says the Chester County DA's office dissuaded him from doing it. He says he was told there was a discrepancy with the time in the witness's statement.
She didn't call every day. Father, 34 years later, still calling me.
I'm just frustrated. It's like it feels like it happened every day. You wake up, you don't feel like your arm was cut off.
From there, not much happened. The couple Lauren may have been given to, or the car she may have been put in, were never found.
We just didn't sit there, we did everything we could do, exhausted every lead we had.
O'Donnell died about a decade ago.
And he felt all along that law enforcement didn't do a sufficient job. Yeah, and I got to tell you, I'm disappointed also.
Do you feel like there were parts of the investigation that fell through the cracks?
On a number of levels.
Cody left the East Vincent Police Department 3 years after the disappearance, and since then, there's been little information. They only told us they're actively investigating.
If it's an active investigation, okay, then what are you doing about it?
Our right to know request for the case files, denied.
Just give us the files. Let us scour them. We might come up with something that was missed. My biggest thing is they made the mistake in not pursuing when that woman said that she was handed over.
Leaving Lauren's father asking for answers.
30 years later, What would it mean to you to get some of these answers?
I mean, a lot. To know that they're trying to do something, but I'm not going to give up.
This is what Lauren might look like now at 38 years old. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children says they've been getting leads over the years. The FBI, who did a large part of the investigation, say they continue to follow up on the case. We did also reach out to the Chester County DA's office, but haven't heard back. But if you know anything, please call the East Vincent Police Department. For CBS 21, I'm Jessica Babb.
A woman vanishes after a double homicide and fire. Her remains discovered months later, 1,000 miles away.
Her friend and roommate left searching for answers. What happened to Jasmine Forbes? CBS 21's Candace Scalise brings us tonight's Unsolved in PA.
This is where the home at 132 Neal Road once stood. A February fire consumed that home and it was torn down. But not before investigators discovered a violent crime. Did a love triangle lead to murder? And what happened to Jasmine Forbes? It's February 23rd, 2022, and the home at 132 Neal Road is up in flames.
I went to work that night and I just had a bad feeling. Around 6:15 in the morning, Manny called me and said that the house was on fire.
By the time Katie Johnson got home, it was too late.
I had to walk to my house because my whole road was blocked off with fire trucks and the police.
She stood watching the fire. Her 3 roommates nowhere to be found.
I just kept screaming at them, telling them to get them out of the house because where else would they be?
As firefighters began fighting the fire, not soon after that, they discovered that there was someone that appeared to be deceased right inside in the living room. They also discovered that in the driveway of this residence was a car, and inside that car was a second body.
Police believe the 2 men were shot before the house was set on fire. When the fire marshal got to the scene that morning, I'm told he found a gun lying in this field. He believes the fire started with some kind of accelerant, possibly gasoline. This fire investigation quickly turned into a double homicide investigation, and then it escalated into a missing person case. Police say Frankie Thomas and his nephew Eddie Shaw were killed. Their roommate, Jasmine Forbes, was missing.
Witnesses were telling us that there may have been threats prior to this homicide, so we were checking out cell phone records to see if there were threats.
According to the affidavit, Forbes received text messages before the fire from a man named Larry Burns. One witness in the affidavit saying Burns was obsessed with Forbes. And according to investigators, another said they received Facebook messages from Burns mentioning $50,000 and threats against Thomas if, quote, Jasmine Forbes is not returned to him.
In West Virginia, we were able to obtain some footage from a gas station that seems to indicate that Jasmine Forbes was there, as well as Larry Burns.
And was that the last time that she was seen alive?
And that was the last time that we were able to have physical put eyes on her.
On June 14th, 4 months after the fire, Jasmine Forbes' body was found in Pasco County, Florida. Her death ruled a homicide. Investigators at the Pasco County Sheriff's Office are handling Forbes' case, but as of today, no arrest has been made.
What do you want people to remember about Jasmine?
She was more than just beautiful on the outside. She had such a beautiful soul, and she connected with people on a different level.
So you had somebody who you knew you could count on, kind of for the first time in your life, it sounds like, in a real way.
When I needed them the most.
When you needed them the most.
Larry Burns is locked up, along with his nephew Cordero Burns. They're charged with double homicide and arson in the deaths of Frankie Thomas and Eddie Shaw.
Our intention to seek the death penalty, and they await trial.
Neither has been charged in relation to Jasmine Forbes' disappearance or death.
It just sucks. It's terrible. I hope that they find out what happened to Jasmine.
As for a motive in the double homicide arson case, the DA says this investigation is far from over and that will come out in court. Katie Johnson tells me when her home burnt down, she lost everything, including her 3 closest friends. She knows that an arrest won't bring Jasmine back, but she hopes it will help her move forward. Reporting in Shippensburg, I'm Candace Scalise, CBS 21 News.
It's a cold case, unsolved in PA. Lancaster police still investigating the death of Hector Fuentes, who was shot on his way to work.
Yeah, and as the leads dry up, CBS 21's Jessica Babb shows us the person police are looking for.
It literally broke my heart. I still can't even believe he's not here.
It's a sadness spanning time.
It has been a while, but it's still like I start to talk about it and it starts to feel like the day that it happened.
Tiffany Schmalhofer was just 16 when she lost her father Hector Fuentes in 2009 when he was shot and killed near Orange and Plum Street in Lancaster while he was on his way to work.
Oh, I remember him as somebody who, like I said before, very humble, caring, loving, always he was about his family. He truly did not deserve something like that to happen to him.
Fuentes, just 39 at the time, is described as a hard-working family man.
He would literally come home from work and then he'd hang out for a little bit and then he'd go to sleep and wake up, go to work. It's like the same thing every day.
It seemed that he was just a very normal to himself guy.
Now, his case has gone cold and his killer is on the loose. The person who might have seen something is still unknown.
So I just didn't understand, why would someone do something like that to somebody who's never done anything to anybody?
So this is the way that Hector was walking?
Correct. Hector was walking northbound to the bus station at Plum and Chestnut Street.
It happened around 6:30 in the morning.
And I do remember that morning seeing like the yellow tape and everything blocked off. I just didn't know it was my dad who was involved.
She says she didn't find out until later that day.
That day I remember I was waiting on the porch for him and it was getting past the time that he would have arrived. I didn't really even get to tell him that I loved him before he passed.
About half an hour before Fuentes was shot, there was a different shooting half a block away.
There was a gunshot victim that was shot in his residence, and it was appeared to be a targeted homicide. We looked at the connection between that case and this case. We spent countless hours, and to this point, we've not been able to link the 2 cases.
But turning to surveillance video, police caught this person, who they say would now be in their 30s, walking on Plum Street. They say Fuentes and this witness were walking on the same sidewalk around the same time.
We're considering this person a potential witness at this point. We need to know what this person has to say, so that's why we're trying to identify him.
Police say another person in the area may have seen this person who was spotted on surveillance, helping police come up with this sketch.
And anybody who knows about this potential witness or recognizes them, I just every day hope that they come forward.
What would it mean to you to be able to solve this case?
It would be huge. It would be, like I said, it would be able to provide that closure for the family. I mean, there's really nothing bigger than that.
As for Fuentes' family,
Tell him that I miss him a lot. I hope that whoever it was is caught. I hope that they know that they took somebody who's very loved and important, someone that I needed, and I really hope that they think about it every single day of their lives.
in Lancaster, Jessica Babb, CBS 21 News.